Alright guys, a couple of you guys saw my B-52 fly that I posted on the page a little bit ago, and I got a really good response from it, and a couple of you guys were actually asking for the recipe. So I figured I'd do you a favor and I'd try to tie one for you. Right now I'm tying this fly a little bigger than I normally would. This is on a size 10. I normally tie it on like a size 12 or 14. But right now I'm using the Lively Legs lip splitters hooks. They're number 573. This is for this exact hook that I'm using right now in the vise. I wrapped it with about 10 wraps of 0.015 wire, lead wire, just to get it started, and push that up into the bead that I failed to mention was on the hook, but I think you can figure that part out. We're going to be using UTC Red 280, and I have a little bit left, so hopefully we can get through this fly with it. But I just start right here behind the lead wraps, bring it forward, run her back. Snip off my tag. And now for here, almost everything on this fly I use pheasant. This is the male pheasant rooster, and I'll take one of these little ones off the back, and that's going to be your tail, which I set up right here. And I just clear off some of the fluff, get it the heck out of the way. Just makes it a little easier to tie in. But just kind of fold it over on itself, lay it down in there, cinch her down. Give it a little play. I like holding down a lot of it to kind of build up my body a little bit, kind of like that. I'll wrap it up to about mid shank just to try to build it up just a tiny bit. Cut off the tag. Now, this is where you want to secure in your gold wire. This is small gold wire, UTC. I'll just tie that in real quick, and we're just going to leave this chilling back here someplace until we need it. Run that back up just a touch. Now, just like every other pheasant tail nymph, which this is pretty much all that is, it's just a little bit more complicated. Just grab your good old natural pheasant tail fibers. I'll cut off a good little chunk here. Just a few of them, nothing fantastic. I just threw them on the floor. We don't want to do that. Toss them back up. And you just want to tie in just the tips. And get those started. And then run your thread back up to about mid-length. Now you can just wrap your pheasant tail fibers like you would for any other pheasant tail pattern. Now mind you, you don't want to do that. I just dropped them. Mind you, this is a bigger fly that I'm used to tying. Most of the time, those few fibers will get you the whole hook shank. It might not in this case. We'll see here in a second. But the name behind the B-52, if you look at the B-52 Stealth Bomber, it's got those massive wings. It's kind of what I'm going with on this. Yeah, those actually came out halfway decent. We'll run that forward just a little bit. Give them a little trim. Get them the heck out of the way. And hold them down. Alright. Now you can bring your gold wire. And I wrap it just the same way you would any nymph pattern to give it the segmented body. Hopefully this is translating to camera for you guys. And you can just snip that away. Alright, this is where it's going to get a little confusing, because you have to do things backwards to go forwards. If if that makes any sense. It does to me. Once again, you're going to grab yourself a few more pheasant tail fibers. Only this time you want a little bit more. Now I probably have somewhere between, I don't know, 10 and 12 fibers here. You want to get those aligned the best you can. And lay them in. Tie them in. You want to try to keep them on top of the hook shank the best you can. Okay, now for those long wings that everybody loves on this fly. On a pheasant tail rooster, I lied. Yeah, it is on a pheasant tail rooster. But you'll also have this piece right here. This is what you're going to use primarily for your big long wing. You're going to take one of these feathers down here near the bottom, almost closer to the base of the tail, where it has the real nice brown, and then you get the real nice marbling color in it. You take one of those and you actually strip it down so you have your wing. Now, this is brushed back, okay? This is how it naturally sits, okay? So when you pull it off, that's what it looks like. You want to brush your fibers back and trim that away. And also strip the feathers the rest of the way. Now, like I said, you're tying this in backwards. So now you want to flip it upside down and go right at the base and wrap it in just like that. And run her up. You can snip that away. This is going to be a little bit short, but that's okay. Now, the only thing that's not pheasant on this would be the thorax, which I just use one little piece of peacock. You can tie that in there out just about anywhere. Doesn't got to be pretty, because you're going to be hiding it. And then you just wrap that in. This is where all the wrapping starts and everything gets confusing, and people were like, "Oh, Ronnie, I don't know how you did that. I need to see another video." But it's really not that bad. But if you guys just pay attention to this, you'll all be fine. Snip that away. Then you can fold your wing over, just like that. Make sure it stays on top, which is kind of difficult sometimes because this is a really thick quill that goes up through the middle. Tie that down. And snip that away. Then you can fold your wing casing over. Just don't want to fold it too tight, because then you start getting these wings coming back on themselves, and you don't want that. Just wrap that down. Give it that nice bright red collar. Snip that away. Now it's up to you. You can either finish the fly right here and call it over and done with, or you can do something that I occasionally do with some of these, and I'll take this real nice soft hackle that I picked up and just straight black, and you just rip a little piece of that off. And you're only looking for like 1 or 2 wraps out of this just to put a little collar on it. But this is all optional. You don't have to do this. This is just something extra that I toss in on a couple of them just for the heck of it. Grab a hold of that with your hackle pliers. I like to brush them out just a little bit. That way they stand up nice and tall. That's way too far back. And that's about that. That's all the more you're going to do there. And you can cut that free. Like I said, that was a total optional step. You don't have to do that to copy this pattern. And you can trim the rest of that little fuzzes away that you trapped. Then you just grab your little whip finisher here. Grab a hold. Give her a couple turns. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the B-52. Hopefully that translated enough for you that you guys understand how to tie this pattern now. I've used it on the water. It absolutely slays trout. It is a nymph pattern. Use it at your will. And if you catch fish on it, I want to see it. Send me the pictures, okay? But that's all for now. And check out my Instagram page. I'm Aquaholic Hooker. Go over there, check me out. And if you guys have any questions, I'll be more than willing to help you. But that's all for now. And tight lines, guys.